get high, man?
That stimulates your mind.
Get up, Chucky! What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rojankin.
Hello. I've been away with Black Lives. No, I'm just kidding. I decided to take a week off after all the protests in honor of Black Lives. No. And because I didn't take a break, does that mean I don't care about Black Lives? No. Or about the movement? No. I mean, honestly, I was just taking a break. My birthday, guys. 42. 42. That's the number of the meaning of life. If you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's the number of, 21 times 2. I've been legal twice. Made it to 21, then made it 21 more years, and here I am at 42. Not too bad though, huh? Not too shabby for a 42-year-old, huh? I'm still got it up here, huh? Still got it up here. Still, I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. I'm old. I don't give a fuck. Here's the thing. Living in LA, it's a funny place. It's a funny thing about the people who live here. They're very conscious of their ages, right? Very conscious of the fact that they're growing older. This is an image-based society. Hollywood being like, if you want to be cast or anything like that, everybody's like, oh, age. And I don't know, but it's just something that I just can't truck with. I don't know. It's just something that's it's like disdainful to me. He's a grown man embarrassed about his age. Now, I don't know. I mean, I know there's this whole thing of you can't hate something unless you see it in yourself. So I can understand that maybe it's like I have my own insecurities about age and I can see that in others. So then I hold that in contempt. I can see some of that, okay? But on the other hand, if you're a grown man, someone asks you your age and you're all like, well, it's in between 35 and 45. Or if you're like, oh, it's 30, I'm 38. Or that. The fuck is wrong with you? Grow up. Be a man. You're acting like a chick. All right. I'm sorry. Is that wrong? Is that sexist? No. I don't know why, but it's just there's no premium anymore. There's no premium anymore in stoicism. Sorry, I gotta let the dog out. Who let the dog out? Me. Who let the dog out? Me. All right. So anyways, I just like, come on, man. The whole point of a man is to die. Okay? Men face death. That's just how it is. That's why when you go to war, you send a bunch of men off to war. You think women are going to fucking fight wars? No, they're smart. You think they're going to run toward a machine gun and get mowed down over honor for the wives and daughters? No, they're not going to do that. Okay? They send us out. So there you go. Since death and men are intertwined, I don't think it's to me unbecoming. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe that's what it is. I'm an old-fashioned, stuck in the past guy. And like, it's just unbecoming to just be all like, I'm sad about my age. I'm not as young as I used to be. Blah, blah. You're supposed to have wisdom, man. You're supposed to have wisdom. You're supposed to have youth. It's overrated. I'll be honest. Youth is overrated. Yeah, you get to fuck and you're young and you heal fast and you're doing all of that. But you know what? You're dumb. You don't know shit. And until you actually live life and go through shit, you think you know everything. It's absolutely crazy. No one should be listening to young people. That's the whole thing. All the Greta Thunberg, fucking David Hogg, Emma Willman, or whatever, all those kids from Parkland, the shootings, whatever, like using kids to further political agendas, and everybody listening to the kid and being like, we gotta listen to this kid or whatever. That's absolutely dumb. It's absolutely stupid, okay? Retarded, dumb. And retarded in the sense that it's slow, right? Retarded in the sense that it's not mature. Retarded in the sense that kids are monsters and they're ignorant. So I don't know. It's the most dangerous thing in the world to give power to a bunch of kids, okay? You know what happens then? Cultural revolution, okay? I mean, it's kind of starting, but that's what happens. That's what happens when you give all the power to the children. And I, for one, I don't know. I'm like, I just don't think kids should have rights, Maybe I don't think they should. I mean, I don't listen. I think it's in general, maybe it's just some contempt I have for men, not in the way that like, men hating is loud, like, oh, I hate men and men suck. Whatever. Men can be awesome. Women can be awesome. Men can be pieces of shit. Women can be pieces of shit. It's the human condition, guys. It's the human condition. But the thing that I just don't like, it's just the weakness, and not like can't lift 100 pounds or whatever, because even a weakling can be strong of character. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I'm talking about character here. Like I know a lot of times we're talking about looks, we're talking about hair, we're talking about riches, or we're talking about material things, external things. I'm talking about internal things you could work on, things you could fix, things that you are supposed to be working on as you get older. And that's why getting older is actually a benefit and not a curse, right? The more you think of getting older as a curse, the more useless you are as a human being. Okay, what the fuck do you have to give us? When you were young, you could give us, your spunk, your energy, your whatever, your work, your labor, whatever. And as you get older, you're supposed to have something, wisdom, perspective, some humility, something. But instead, no, we don't. And do I sound angry? I've been drinking. All right. I was on a Zoom baby shower. And there's this part where everybody was kind of like going around holding up books and being like, this is a book that, whatever. And there's this one couple who, the woman was up front, and the mom, she's like, they had a kid, and the lady had a book, and she's like, this is a book I like, and I would like to share it, even though my husband doesn't think it's appropriate. And then her husband was in the background, like back here, and he was just being like, I don't think it's appropriate at all. I don't like it. And then she's like, but I do. I like this book. And this book, literally the book is a story. It's a children's story about a kid who doesn't get what he wants. That's the whole fucking story. That's the story. And actually, it's not a bad lesson. Okay? You can't always get what you want. Meanwhile, the dad in the background is all shaking his head and being like, I don't approve of this message. This is like harmful. This is like violence. This is violence to my child. Except he's not strong enough. If he was strong enough, he would actually say that. But instead, his wife is actually putting the case for him. So she's like, well, he thinks that, it's kind of a harsh lesson, but I think that it's actually like, an important lesson. And so here you have, so then she actually has to put forward his position, even though she doesn't agree with it, then defend herself and then put forward her position while her husband's in the back going, and I just couldn't, the thing about Zoom is like, it's like, facial expression chicken. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how many Zooms you've been on, but these fucking Zooms, you just, So while he's like, I didn't approve, I had to be like, because I really, first of all, I was just doing it to kind of piss him off. And I was listening intently. I was like, let me hear about the story. And then when I heard what the story was about, I disagreed visibly. I was like, no, this is great. No, I like this story. No to you in the back. Yes to the lady. Kind of. I mean, not really, because what? You respect that? You respect that? All right. What am I talking about? Weak men. Okay. But here we go. Weakness in general, and I don't mean, again, not literal weakness. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about that. Sometimes you are not strong. Sometimes you're born sick. Sometimes you're born with no legs. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things you can't do anything about, but there are things you can do something about. And I'm talking about character. Again, character. So I guess that brings me to what I want to talk about, which is Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, or Hillary Clinton as the sort of archetype for what's going on in society. And this is what, I don't know, I've been thinking about this for a while, and in light of Me Too 2, Electric Boogaloo, which has come out, against Crystalia, you had the Joey Diaz, you had the Jeff Ross. If you don't know anything about comedy, a lot of this might not be important to you, but one of the things that this new Me Too movement touched is Cass Anvar, who plays the character Alex Kamal on the show The Expanse, which I love. I love The fucking Expanse. Don't you fucking dare come after Alex, all right? They're coming after Alex just because he's the brown man. He's a brown man on the crew. He's a Persian man, okay? Iranian nuclear deal. I understand what it is. It's all a takedown. They're trying to take him down. They're trying to take down The Expanse. And here's my running theory as to why they're trying to take down Cass Anvar. It's because you ever watched the third season of The Expanse? It's amazing. It's probably the best thing sci-fi has ever done in their fucking entire time as a channel, including before they did their stupid SY, FY in order to retain the copyright to everything, because they couldn't copyright sci-fi, SCI, FI. They couldn't copyright it, so then they changed it to sci-fi, a nonsense word because of money. And just like that reasoning, that's exactly the same reasoning why they canceled The Expanse. Okay, The Expanse was a hit show, the fucking great show, it was the best show they ever had, and fucking cancel it, right? Because of money. They wanted to own the shit, and they didn't own it, so they're like, let's just get rid of the best property we have. Can't really afford it, whatever, right? I guarantee you. Then it was picked up by Amazon. Huge outcry, huge fan base. Amazon also has the benefit of the data of knowing who reads the books. They know they have a huge fan base. Okay, so knowing that, they're like, we're fucking picking it up. Okay, season 4 of The Expanse came out. It was a hit. People fucking excited. Season 5 was coming out. I don't know if they shot it or what, but everybody's fucking stoked about it, right? And I guarantee you, some dumb executive at Sci-Fi got canned, got fucking fired for this decision. Okay, whoever that executive was probably made a decision, you know, money based, it was based on the bottom line, and then afterwards they realized that, wow, we just lost the hottest property ever. Who's at fault? And that person probably got shit canned for it. And I bet you that person is launching a personal vendetta against The Expanse show. They probably dug through every single actor's. I mean, come on. They would have loved to have bagged one of the white guys, because that would have been perfect. One of the white guys doing something creepy, get him at the perfect. Okay. Unfortunately, Cass Anvar, you know, he's a swarthy, testosterone-filled Persian man. Okay, he might be a little aggressive at worst in his DMs. All that came out was a bunch of DMs, but hey, man, but nothing. He didn't fuck any of them or anything. Same thing with the Crystalia thing. There's like tons of, you know, all these girls were like, oh, these receipts, I have the receipts, and then it comes out later that they redacted a lot of those receipts, that they hid some information that might make them not look so good, obscured some information that makes it look like Crystalia is a bigger perv, and then it's out that he's a pedophile. Okay, it's out that he's a pedophile. It's out that Cass Anvar is like a rapist. You know, it's out that it even happened to a friend of mine in the comedy community, the lowest levels. Open mic, some fucking moose of a woman spreading a rumor that, 2 guys raped a 13-year-old girl, apropos of nothing, spreading the rumor around, okay? Destroying people's lives. This is destruction. It's absolute destruction, right? My buddy who got accused of this would rather be shot in the head, okay? He'd rather be shot in the head than live through this. It's fucking, you know what I mean? Like, this is somebody who does not make any bones about what a piece of shit he is, that he's a dirtbag, but he loves older women. See, he's saying he doesn't like kids. He's very honest about that. And to then besmirch the man's character, to destroy him, to have this thing follow him for the rest of his life when he didn't do anything, he's just the target of an angry bitch. Okay? Is that justice? Is that fair? Is that what they deserve? I mean, I remember hearing people go, you know, sometimes it's okay if an innocent man goes to jail because it's really for the greater cause. And that's so wrong, immoral. It's immoral. You don't see that? It's okay to put innocent people away. It's okay to destroy lives just to prove a point, even if the person had nothing to do with the point you're making. It just seems vindictive. It just seems evil. Okay? So this brings me to Hillary Clinton. Why do I blame Hillary for a lot of this stuff? Well, I'll tell you this. This is something that Scott Adams said, creator of Dilbert. So take that with a grain of salt. But the guy's a trained hypnotist, and the thing he said was that every 4 years, what we do is we undergo a mass hypnosis in this country, right? The country bifurcates. You got the blue team and the red team. They fight and fight and fight, and it's war. They fight until the election happens, until there's a winner, and then at the end, when there's a winner, the loser comes up to a podium at the end of the night and concedes to the winner. And that breaks the spell. Okay, that breaks the hypnosis, that breaks the spell, it wakes everybody up, and everybody's supposed to be like, all right, we're not at war anymore. Let's fucking go forward as a country. The election's over. Let's move forward as a country. Okay. For the first time in history, in U.S. history, first time in U.S. history, the losing candidate did not appear in front of the public to concede. Remember, Hillary never showed up that night. She was fucking wasted. And then, I don't know, Podesta or somebody showed, you know, remember? And then later on, she was like, yeah. And then Russiagate, right? Russiagate. So what happened? It means she never conceded. And instead launched the Russiagate conspiracy. 3 years. 3 years we're saying Trump is a Russian puppet. 3 years Trump is a Russian puppet. What came out of it? Nothing. And then what do? Impeachment. Okay? If you understand what the details of impeachment were versus Russiagate, you'll see how they contradict each other. Because the claim of Russiagate is that Vladimir Putin installed Trump as the president of the United States, either by interfering with our election and also through blackmail. Okay, and then there's a criminal conspiracy of the Russians to interfere with the election, put Trump in president, and then Trump, as president, was a puppet of Vladimir Putin. You had Keith Olbermann being like, this is the takeover of the Russians. You had fucking Rachel Maddow being like, Putin could shut off the gas in Minnesota and everybody could freeze to death, you know, like fucking peddling conspiracy theories, right? You had John Brennan coming on TV being like that they're all going down. The president, his son, you know, Ivana, like everybody, Jared Kushner, everybody's going down. Beware the Ides of March, Mr. President, all that shit. And then what happened? Nothing. Mueller report drops. Nothing. There's no evidence of the crime. We didn't exonerate him either. This is another fucking line of bullshit, right? Which is the same thing as not shaking the hand, leaving it out in the open. Nobody gets exonerated in a criminal investigation. You understand that? You're either guilty or not guilty. Guilty, not guilty. There's evidence to show you're guilty, not enough evidence to show you're not guilty. No such thing as exoneration. It's not a legal term. It doesn't exist. So why use it except to fuck people up, confuse them? So then let's move on. We go from Russiagate to impeachment. Okay, impeachment. What was impeachment about? Was it about Russian collusion? No, it was not about Russian collusion. Impeachment was about the idea that Trump threatened to not send military aid to Ukraine unless they declare an investigation into Joe Biden over Burisma and Hunter Biden and all that stuff. So then the underlying claim is that that's an impeachable offense because it's an abuse of power, because Joe Biden is a political opponent in the 2020 election, and digging up dirt on him is a way of interfering with that election. Okay, if you think about this for 1 second, if Joe Biden didn't run for president, it's not an issue. Boom. Like maybe Joe Biden shouldn't run for president if he's being investigated for corruption. There's ties to his son getting 50 grand a month for some bullshit position on the board of an energy company. Like maybe that stuff should be investigated and he shouldn't, you know, be president. No, he has to be president. So in fact, in a way, the whole point is that like if Biden doesn't become the presumptive nominee, then the entire impeachment thing was false. That's one point. The next point is, okay, do you know what those weapons were for? Those weapons were for the Ukraine to fight Russia, right? The charge is that Trump threatened to not send that money, but he did. So he did arm Ukrainians against the Russians, the people that he's supposed to be the puppet of. So the charge is that he threatened to not give weapons to the people who are fighting, the people who are controlling him, even though he did give them the money, right? It's like it didn't even happen. It's just a threat. This is like what's in his mind. Here's the other thing. All that stuff was set up by Biden. The whole revolution in Ukraine, they had a pro-Russian government and then they overthrew him with a popular uprising, whatever. Biden and the CIA's fingerprints are all over it. There's actual proof. There's actually proof that the State Department was part of it, okay? You can look it up. There's actual proof of it, okay? So what do we have here? We have basically have the Democrats accusing Trump of being a treasonous person because he didn't give weapons. No, he did though, because he threatened possibly to not give money or weapons to arm Ukraine against Russia. Guess who is in charge in Ukraine? Guess who overthrew the pro-Russian side of the Ukraine? far-right Nazis. That's right. Biden, the Democratic Party, empowered the far-right faction of Ukraine to take over, to do their coup. Okay? Obama, in fact, didn't give the weapons, the thing that they were charging Trump with treason with, because he's like, those are Nazis, you know, and he was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Trump, of course, loving Nazis, gives them money. Okay? That's, at least that's the charge, but it's all backwards. The whole charge is that he wouldn't give them money, and that's destabilizing the world order, but he did give them the money, so then that's not really the charge. The Democrats call Trump a Nazi, but at the same time, they backed the Nazis in taking over the Ukraine. It's like, none of it makes any sense, you see? So you can see how you go from Hillary not shaking Donald Trump's hand. Then you get to this Russiagate thing of them saying, like, he didn't win fair and square. It's because of Russia. Nothing comes out of that. Then we go on to impeachment. Yeah, then never mind the Russia thing. It's this thing. He didn't give them money, or he tried to not give them money, but he did. But he tried to not give them money, and that thing all falls apart. Meanwhile, while that's happening, the pandemic is started in China. Meanwhile, while the Senate is holding their impeachment trial, 4 senators were insider trading, making millions off of the coming stock market crash, okay? By short selling or selling off their shit. They just basically made money. So that means the intelligence community in the Senate, probably the House, means they all knew about this shit. And they were going ahead with the fake impeachment. Sham impeachment. All right. This is boring. This might be boring. You might not agree. You might be like, no, Trump is guilty. Trump is guilty. Trump is guilty. And that's the whole problem. See, we went with a foregone conclusion. Honestly, if the Democrats did nothing, you could probably get them on tons of crimes. You could probably get them on tons of shit. There's probably war crimes. There's probably emoluments. There's probably all that stuff. You want to know what the problem is? The problem is you start going after Trump for those crimes, you have to open the books for everybody else. And then everybody else is guilty of those crimes as well. The Democrats are guilty of war crimes, okay? The Democrats are guilty of emoluments, of making money off of insider trading. The Democrats are guilty of all that shit because they're all corrupt, right? So then you go after Trump for this narrow thing that they're never gonna fucking get him on, just to fucking throw everybody into a tizzy, a crazy tizzy, like a woman. Okay. I just feel like, look, here we are now. Pandemic. We had Black Lives Matter. Where are we now? We're at pandemic again. Okay, it's just going back and forth. There's no responsibility from the Democrats to like be like, oh, we really fucked up. Really didn't listen to anybody. I mean, if you even just look at something like, you know, Black Lives Matter. Okay? The thing about Black Lives Matter for me is that I agree the sentiment, but I don't agree with the organization. And I think that's fair to say. When the organization's leaders come out as avowed Marxists, when the organization's leaders, you know, are the ones that bum rush Bernie, and then, you know, Bernie gave up his microphone. Yeah, when there's obviously a political bent to all of this, can't trust any of it. Where are they getting their money from? Where's that money going? Okay. Why do we talk about defunding the police? Why do we say defund the police? Something that's probably never, ever going to happen, instead of end the drug war, instead of end the war on terror. You understand that the militarization of the police, it goes hand in hand with 9/11 and the militarization that we did overseas? You understand that, right? You understand that the militarization of the police and the incarceration of millions and millions of Black people have to do with the war on drugs, marijuana prohibition specifically? You understand that, right? I had a fucking guy on Twitter, okay, Pat Guest, and he was like, if I catch you on the street drinking Starbucks, know that they use prison labor and you'll get one warning. Like, what? You're putting people on watch? You're putting people on notice, right, for drinking Starbucks? Meanwhile, wait till you find out how your phone was made. Wait till you find out how all this is. You understand our entire lifestyle is built on the backs of broken Asian and African bodies. You understand that, right? This camera, this computer, my phone, everything, the internet, all of it, the server farms, all of it, okay? Little baby Asians, little baby Africans, working night and day, getting crushed by hard labor so that we can have this, okay? That's what that is. Not to mention, he's a fucking total stoner. He's like, stoner, man, and then he works in cannabis, man, and that's how he makes his living, man. Yeah, man, that's how he does. Yeah, so guess what? Marijuana prohibition, the thing that you're benefiting off of because it's legal now, the thing that you never got caught for because of your white ass, the thing that you are making money off and paying your rent with now, other people are in jail for. Those same people you're saying are the prison labor that make your Starbucks cups or whatever the fuck you're talking about. It's also your entire lifestyle. Marijuana in general, okay? None of us are built. None of us are innocent, okay? We're all complicit. Just by virtue of being an American, we are complicit in a system that is, that takes, it's rapacious. We're complicit in a system that enslaves, that commits genocide, that lies, that continually just starves babies, murders them, shoots bombs at them from robots in the sky. That's us, you see? So for us to take the moral position, moral high position, start pointing at people and saying, you the best, it's a dangerous road. And that finger is going to get pointed right back at us anytime soon. You understand that America is like 1% of the world, right? Like if the world decided, hey, we got to do something about these guys, it's us they're coming after. So we're all pieces of shit here. You understand? We're all pieces of shit. Okay? Which is why, this whole thing with Chris D'Elia, Cass Anvar, Joey Diaz, like they're going after Joe Rogan, all of that stuff. It's a bunch of people who are high and mighty, who think they've never done anything wrong, who think they're in a position to throw stones in a glass house, who think they're in a position to cast the first stone as a non-sinner, who think they're in a position to castigate people. Like that's obviously it's a lack of humility. That's really what it is. It's a lack of humility. It's hubris. It's blindness. It's also the just like not wanting to see yourself in the mirror. You ever take psychedelics and like go to the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror? It's not pretty. It's freaky. Whoa. I mean, first of all, everything's kind of moving and whatever, but then you get a second, you look into your eyes, you start staring into your eyes, you see, oh my God, I see my soul. I see my face. I see how old it's gotten. I see it's wrinkled. Am I scrunching my face? Why am I making this? Why am I making this expression? I don't get it. You really look at yourself. And a lot of times, for beginning psychedelic, people who are inexperienced in the shit, see themselves in the mirror and they go, ah! They see themselves in the mirror, they freak out, they turn off the light, they don't want to go back in. No, they might even have a bad trip looking at the mirror, seeing themselves for the first time. And I like to say that that's what Trump is. Trump is a mirror that we are recoiling from. Trump is like the mirror, you turn on the lights and you, wow, that's us. And then instead of being like, oh shit, that's us. And like touching, just being like, oh God, oh Jesus, I better do something about this. Instead of doing that, we go, we smash the mirror. We say Russians made this reflection happen. We blame everybody else. That's not me. That's not me. That's that. That's, absolute bonkers, right? Native American is like a Native American saying that says you cannot love or hate anything unless you see yourself in it. This also goes back to the goddamn yin yang that I've been going on about. I don't know if I've been going on about it in the podcast, but in real life I have been on stage and all that. Okay, yin yang. You are the thing you hate. The thing you hate is you. You are the thing you love. The thing you love is you. Both one and the same, swirling around forever and ever. And until we realize that, we're always going to be at odds, right? White people, black people. In America, most white people have quote unquote black genes in them. Most black people have quote unquote white genes in them. It's a fucking yin yang, you understand? They're the same and just swirling round and round. That's what makes America, right? Everything is on a black and white polarity. Meanwhile, Asians invented the goddamn yin yang. Okay. But it's true. Maybe I have a special position just as somebody who's not black or white, but was born in this nation's capital. I'll have you know, Washington, D.C. Okay? I'm fucking federal, all right? And having grown up as an American, seeing the shit go down. I mean, I was alive during the riots in 92 over Rodney King in LA. I've been a lot, through the whole thing, watching it go down, studying it, going to school, studying the shit, going to, and just watching how they're like, oh shit, they're the same. They're the same. Just like the Israelis and Palestinians. They're the fucking same, okay? Just that you are your enemy. That's what it is. And until we realize that individually and collectively, we'll never have peace. We will be just going round and round and round right? History will be doomed to repeat itself. You're just gonna become your parents. You're going to become your parents until you see that you are them, right? And unless you want that, that's fine. See, that's the whole thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing to embrace the other, to become it, to let it become you, and then become something new, right? Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. It's not a bad thing. If anything, that's how I feel, considering because I'm not black, I'm not white, and I'm a child of neglect. Like, I think I'd have a stronger Asian identity if I had parents, but I didn't, I had TV in the streets. That's what raised me. Knowing and seeing that, I think it kind of gave me a little bit of a perspective as an outsider, insider, you know what I mean? Inside but outside, yin yang, the inside but outside. Saying like, God damn it, this shit is all a scam. It's all a scam. The whole thing. Notice that throughout this whole time, the pandemic, the movements, not much talk about economics. We talk about defund the police, talk about Black Lives Matter, talk about all this stuff, but you don't talk about how the poor people actually have to unify in order to stand up to the wealthy extracting all the wealth from us, right? That's never going to happen as long as race comes into it, right? And I think that's one of the most egregious things about Democrats when during Russiagate, during other, they're kind of trying to analyze like what happened in the middle of the country. Why did all these poor white people who voted for Obama, why did they suddenly vote for Trump? Is it because they're racists? Are they retards? Are they just racist retards? Is that why? Yes, they said. And then remember, people would be like, no, it was economic anxiety. Like NAFTA, jobs got shipped away. That's why immigration was actually a hot button issue. Like that's why. And then they were like, no, economic anxiety. They mock it. Economic anxiety. You mean racism, right? So racism, it becomes the trump card, right? Racism becomes a thing that like you don't have to talk about economics. You don't have to talk about the real thing, right? Malcolm X said the white man will continue to give symbolic victories without addressing equity and justice. Okay, that's what Jenny Slate's stepping down from Big Mouth. Okay, that's symbolic, right? That's all that shit is. All these actors stepping down. It's like, give back your money. Give back your money if you care. You don't care. You don't care, right? It's fucking bullshit. Okay. Yeah, I know. Listen, this is the reason why due process came about. Okay, why there's laws. Why, even though everybody's like due process and the police, they're like we can't trust them. But then what is it? Mobs. Just go off of mobs. Just listen to the mob, and then right. And then it's just like the fucking what is it? Salem witch trials, like the Crucible, right? There's little white girls, of course, little white girls who are like, Tituba's the witch, Tituba, and then fucking murdered the slave. And then they went on this thing where they just started murdering other people who they thought were witches based on the accusations of these little girls who were lying. Okay? Scottsboro 9. 2 women who claimed that they were raped by 9 little boys. I mean, they were like, the oldest one was like 11, 12. I don't know. They were teenagers, the oldest ones. All 9 of them fucking jailed. Some of them hanged. Only like 1 or 2 of them finally got out when they were like 60 or 70. Okay. And the lady who said she was raped recanted and said she lied. Okay. She was hanging out with these black boys on a train, and then a white mob got crazy. She got scared for her life. So she said that she was raped by them in order to escape getting lynched. Probably. They probably would have lynched her. That's what she thought in her mind. So she's like, better them than me. Right. It's the same energy, same Hillary Clinton energy. Lack of responsibility, utter contempt for the people. Hillary Clinton would rather see this country burn, okay? Would rather see it go into a second civil war, would rather see it go through what we're going through now than to admit that she lost, okay? And think about it. She lost to Obama, okay? And then she lost to Trump. She couldn't go after Obama. It's not good, can't go after the black guy. Go after the easy target, the white guy, right? Did you know that all the birther stuff, all the stuff about Obama being a Muslim and a Kenyan and all that, that came out of the primary between Clinton and Obama? All the racist stuff, you know that Trump actually took the playbook from the Democrats and just ran with it with that birther shit? Did you know that? Did you know that through the WikiLeaks dumps, it's not a hack, the WikiLeaks dump of the DNC emails, that they found out that the Hillary camp was actively telling CNN to blow Trump up, to just give him as much airtime as possible, because they were so sure they were going to beat him. And they didn't. Okay? That's what this is. It's hubris. Hubris, a lack of empathy, a lack of humility, and a lack of understanding that you have to sacrifice your own pride for the good of the country, right? And she's just like, come Hillary or high water, I will see this place burn. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So listen, I understand why there may be an issue with the ideas of due process, about the corruption of the state, the corruption of the police, the corruption, why women would be scared to go up and ask police to help them out if there was a crime committed. But the other way where you just, it's mob justice, where you just go off the word of people who may be lying, go off the word of people who have an agenda, some kind of political agenda, like the sci-fi, like that executive of sci-fi, like Hillary Clinton, like this dumb fucking moose that blamed my friend, that made up that story about my friend, like all these fucking, and it's not just women, it's just that white woman energy. Unfortunately, just like the guy I was talking about at the beginning, who's like, it's the same white woman energy, which I think that's why the Karen meme is taking off, right? Karens, Becky's, like all that stuff. It's like, this is like sort of cultural backlash against white women. And and again, it's not a literal thing. I'm not saying all white women or whatever. It's just a white woman energy. You understand? And every country would have its own white woman energy or their equivalent of it. It's just that upper class woman energy, entitled patrician woman energy. I don't know. Which unfortunately now has spread to men. Has spread to everybody. The entire society is infected with this. Thanks, Hillary. Anyways, I'm all for due process. We got Cass Anbar. He said that he's gonna open himself to investigation. Go ahead. I think he should. Let's look it up. Just like Russiagate, all open for investigation. Looking 3.5 years, and what do they find? Nothing. Okay? Impeachment. What do they find? Nothing. All right? It's just hard to take it seriously when it feels like we're being dicked around, That's why where I'm at now is that you just can't listen to all this shit. I know you're supposed to be like, there's a second surge of COVID coming. There's oh, you mean off the tail of all the protests and stuff when we ignored it, and now it's coming back? Okay, yeah, all right. Well, how about we kind of talk about health? How about we kind of talk about who's vulnerable? How about we talk about the fact that most of the deaths are in nursing homes, that the most vulnerable people are old and sick, and that we should protect them, but we shouldn't destroy everybody's lives. Should we? I went to a really lovely dinner. My girl, my lady, Remy, bought me dinner at Musso and Frank's. Since 1919 has been a Hollywood steakhouse, for the people and for the mass, for the elite. Sinatra and them hung out there, but like regular Joe Schmo could hang out there and get a burger, right? And yeah, you had to wear a mask going in. All the waiters wore masks. You didn't have to wear a mask at the table. There was like 60% capacity, a lot of distancing, and I got to tell you, it was great. I mean, even the workers had to wear masks and gloves and shit. They were so happy to be. Everybody was so happy to be there. Everybody was so happy to be somewhat normal, to have a meal, to just work, to be working. And it's motherfuckers who are like, all you have to do is stay home for 18 months. All you have to do. Like, what kind of motherfucker is privileged enough to do that? What kind of lazy piece of shit is just like, oh yeah, just stay home for months. What's the big deal? Not fucking wanting to off yourself. You understand the suicide rate is 5 times more than normal? These people are like either scared out of their minds, find no hope, no money, no nothing, then that's happening and nobody is talking about that. You understand? Nobody cares. Like, you really care about saving lives? Care about saving lives? What about those lives? Care about saving lives? What about the drone strikes? What about all the Yemeni children that are skeletons from the sanctions that we, us Americans, starting under Obama, continued through Trump, have been paying our tax dollars to support, right? The weapons we sold to the Saudis, who they used to kill civilians in Yemen. Yemen is probably one of the worst things going on right now that we could be held in contempt of International Criminal Court or like war crimes for. Like, we have really been committing war crimes, okay? Not a single word from the so-called good side, right? They're fucking pro-war. If Trump was really a Putin puppet, really a traitor, Why did the Democrats pass his entire legislative agenda? His military budget, the fucking wall, Space Force, more power under the Patriot Act, expanded executive powers. Why would they grant him expanded executive powers if they're like, he's a traitor, right? Kind of makes you think, right? Makes you think that maybe it's all kayfabe, maybe it is pro wrestling, maybe it's bullshit, maybe there really is no conflict. Maybe even the media saying that they hate Trump, we hate Trump, we hate it. They fucking love him, okay? They love him because of all the money. They're making money hand over fist. Imagine how boring the news would be if Hillary Clinton was president. They'd be like, in today's news, the president did something great. You know, and that would be the news. It'd be boring, okay? I prefer having an adversarial relationship with the powers that be. The only problem is I don't see it as a genuine adversarial relationship. It's really a kayfabe. You know, it's just like in pro wrestling. That's what they call it, K fabrication, right? It's like a fake fight to make drama and make money off of it, right? That's just what it seems like. You know, why would Nancy Pelosi not impeach George W. Bush for torture? Why didn't she? You know why? Because when you look into the records, you can find out that Nancy Pelosi was briefed on torture before George W. Bush. She knew about it before him. So how could she impeach the guy about something she knew before him, right? So she was like, you know what? We got to look forward. That's what Obama said too. We got to look forward, not look backwards. If the crimes committed, we're going to look forward and commit the same crimes again. Yay. So in the end, due process has to stand. We got to have it. Can you imagine back in the day when there was no due process, we would just go off of anybody's word? And like somebody would be like, he did this to me, and then you go and just murder them. You know, like that's probably what happened. Probably chaos in the streets. People just killing each other over rumors. Okay, until finally a bunch of probably dudes came together and was like, we gotta come up with some kind of process here. We just can't go off, you know. Just can't have fucking crazy weak people accusing others of shit and then just believing them and executing them. We can't do that. We gotta do something. We gotta come up with evidence, proof. I don't know. And not to say that can't be corrupted, and not to say that that's a perfect system, but it's better than mob rule, right? Better than just fucking not even caring if the shit is real. And just being like, this is important, so it doesn't matter if innocent people go to jail. This is all about the movement, right? It's corrupt. It's wrong. It's un-American. All right. I don't know. I guess that's good enough for me here. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to the Road to Kimcast. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys out there. Please, you know the deal. I'm slurring my words. No, I only have one. I'm so excited. You know the deal. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to this podcast. Leave a rating, review, whatever. Thank you so much.